Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Dorfler here for one of the last videos of Chapter 2, and that is going to be dealing with the solutions for the worksheet that you should have gotten, along with the previous video to this one, going over naming covalent compounds. All right. So again, this video is intended for you to just check your work, what you did for the previous day, check the work here, and make sure you submit it to the assignment you saw in the previous video, okay? So let's go and take a look real quick here. All right, in group 1, you are to give us the names of the compounds based off the formulas. So A, CO, is carbon monoxide. Again, there's only one oxygen there. There's no subscript, so it's 1, so you get that mono. And again, the prefix mono and the element oxygen have those two O's that line up. So we allied them, remember from the notes, into kind of one syllable where it's monoxide. B, CO2, carbon dioxide. Oxygen has 2 subscript there. H2O, dihydrogen monoxide. You got to watch out for that compound, dihydrogen monoxide. It's a little scary. D, CCl4, carbon tetrachloride. There's 4 chlorides there. E, N2O3, dinitrogen trioxide. F, SiO2, that is silicone dioxide. G, N2O, that's dinitrogen monoxide. H, CBr4, that is carbon tetrabromide. I, SO2, sulfur dioxide. J, S2Cl2, that is disulfur dichloride. So hopefully the first section went without a hitch here. All right, let's move on to number 2 here. And I'm going to have to move my picture of my beautiful self here. So I'm out of the way. This time we're going to flip the direction. We're going to go from name to formula. So for A, you have a xenon hexafluoride. So there's no prefix on xenon, so that just means it's 1, so it's Xe. And hexa, remember hexa has the letter X in there, same thing, so does 6. So you have F with a subscript of 6. XeF6. B, tetranitrogen tetraoxide. Now, let's pause there. This worksheet did not follow our rules. So really, if I could, don't know where my, can I annotate here? I don't know what, I hope I didn't break anything. Anyway, tetraoxide, oh boy, no. Okay, back at it. All right, sorry. They have it as tetraoxide on here, but in reality, how we should write this is essentially get rid of that A. Okay, just put that A is not there. I'm going to cover up with my little arrow here. So you would say tetroxide. Okay, shame on these people who made this worksheet. So it should be tetranitrogen tetroxide. No A there. C, boron trifluoride. Again, no prefix on boron. So it's just B, and then tri means 3 fluorines, BF3. Carbon tetrabromide. You should have CBr4. E, dicarbon tetrafluoride. Di means 2, so there's 2 carbons. Tetra is 4, so that means 4 fluorines, C2F4. And lastly, or sorry, not lastly, second column, F, nitrogen tribromide. Again, no prefix on nitrogen, so it's N, and there's 3 bromines indicated by the tri here, so NBr3. G, dinitrogen tetrasulfide. There are 2 N's, so you get N2, and there's 4 tetrasulfurs, so N2S4. H, oxygen difluoride, OF2. Dinitrogen pentaoxide. I did it again. So dinitrogen is N2, and again on pentaoxide they should have removed the A. So it's pentoxide, okay? So that's why I'm covering it up with the arrow here, pentoxide. And J, tetraphosphorus decaoxide. Again, you probably tried. I know you did because I have done it before. You try to say this 1-3 times fast. It's not the easiest. But again, there's some issues with this name here. First of all, let's look at tetraphosphorus. Okay, tetraphosphorus, tetra means 4, so it's 4 phosphorus. Again, the A and deca should not be there, so it should just be decoxide, and that's deca. Again, as I said in the video the other day, deca is 10. There's 10 years in a decade, so O10. So P4 O10. Excuse me. All right. Now, in the instructions I had for the previous posting, see if I can, there we go. I said that part 3 was going to be kind of a combination. So you had to use what we've discussed about in our notes about identifying the differences between ionic and covalent, and then naming it from there, or giving the formulas. So carbon monoxide, we have for A, we have 2 nonmetals, so that should be covalent. And so following the rules, carbon monoxide, you get the formula of CO. Potassium sulfide. Potassium is a metal, and sulfur or sulfide is a nonmetal. So it's an ionic compound. So you have to go off of their charges. And so when you do their charges, you have to whoop them. Again, this is the international sign for whooping. You get K2S. C, potassium permanganate. Again, it's another metal and nonmetal, or I should say polyatomic ion. So potassium and permanganate. Again, permanganate is one of those polyatomic ions that you just need to put on flashcards. They both have potassium has a +1, permanganate has a -1, and so you don't have any subscripts on either one. KMNO4. D, nitrogen trichloride. It's a nonmetal and nonmetal, so it's covalent. So as you'll see here in the naming, they use the prefixes of tri. So you get NCl3. E, nickel 2 sulfate. Nickel's a metal. Sulfate is a polyatomic nonmetal. So it tells you what charge was used here. It's a 2+ version of nickel. So you have NiSO4. Now when you whoop them, +2 from nickel and the -2 from sulfate, when they whoop, they get a 2 on each other. But remember, to finalize the answers for these, they have to be in the lowest whole number ratio of subscripts, so they essentially cancel out, and you get this. You can remove the parentheses. You got to do that. Excuse me. F, sodium acetate. Again, metal, nonmetal, polyatomic ion, sodium, and acetate. Sodium is a +1. Acetate is a -1. You whoop them, they essentially cancel each other out. G, magnesium iodate. Okay, metal, nonmetal. Magnesium is a +2. Iodate is a -1. So when you whoop them, you don't have a subscript on the Mg, but you end up placing a 2 subscript on the iodate. And so remember, you have to include the iodate in parentheses and put the subscript on the outside of the parentheses here. So you get Mg parentheses IO3 close parentheses 2. H, sulfur trioxide, SO3. So again, sulfur, oxygen, nonmetals, covalent naming rules apply, and I don't care if there's an update right now. So you get SO3. I, calcium carbonate, again, metal and nonmetal, polyatomic ion. So you get calcium and carbonate. Calcium's a 2+, carbonate is a 2-. When you whoop them, they cancel each other out, so you get CaCO3. And last but not least, silver sulfide, metal, nonmetal. Silver is a +1. Sulfur, again, it's IDE, so it's just the element form of it. Sulfur is a -2. When you whoop them, you get the formula Ag2S. Okay, so hopefully this helped you out with the most recent worksheet. And I like this third section here because it gives you kind of a combination of ionic and covalent rules and identifying what type they are. And so after you've watched this video, again, double check your work. Make sure to submit your answers back into the previous post where you received the video and the worksheet. Make sure you get that in by the 16th by 11:59 p.m. And then once you are done, please continue working on your problem set. Again, it'll be due sometime next week. That way you can hopefully have it done well in advance of the test. So anyway, again, if you have any questions regarding this, feel free to email me or send me a private message, and I'll do my best to get a reply out there as soon as I can. But until then, I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.